You know what I mean? And it's a white guy and a black guy behind him. And this dude's like, yo. And he's like, well, I'm going to come in the room. And I was like, fat chance. I was like, you're not coming in this room. And I go to shut the door, and he puts his boot in there. And I heel his boot out. And he's like, yo, you're going to jail. And I come outside, and I shut the door, and I'm like, well, take me to jail then. I said, it's going to be fun. I'm not in my right mind. Right. I'm not fucking a tough guy.
You're like, a protective.
At this point, give a beating, take a beating. It's something.
Yeah.
I'll feel something different than what I'm feeling now. It's kind of that situation. All of a sudden, the guy in back steps in front, and he's like, hold up. The brother steps in front and says, where are you from? I said, I'm from fucking LA, homie. What? He's like, no. He's like, I hear something else. I was like, my mom's from Brooklyn. I was like, I was born in Long Island, but I'm from LA, dude. I was like, I was raised here. He's like, okay. He's like, I understand. He's like, you got that, right, mom. He's like, let's talk.
Firefighters don't want to have to worry about the residents. They want to just concentrate on knocking down the fire and saving the homes. But we did have an assistance call that went out on Santa Cruz, I believe, an elderly person that needed help. It was 8972, I believe, Santa Cruz. And you're
on North Oaks in Calistoga. Finley Community Center, nearly at...
It is. There's a fire kicking up right here next to the hospital where we are right now. Right where the bus was going to go, it's swung around with all of those patients to the other side of the parking lot here, heading out toward the north now. They were trying to go out to the south. A fire has now started right here next to Kaiser Permanente. And so now you know why they're trying to get all of these people out here. Not only the smoke, but the fire danger here is extremely serious. I mean, we're in town right now, and another spot fire has kicked up right here. So this situation is changing so quickly. I've been on a lot of fires, and I have never seen anything like this before. Just not too far from us, we don't know what these explosions are coming from, whether they're cars or possibly a fuel tank at somebody's house, a gas, some sort of gas line or something. You can see the flames kicking up behind these vehicles that are driving into the hospital parking lot right now. People are actually running for their lives.
And you can see how intensely the fire is burning as we pan to the right. That entire row of buses right there, they've just backed off from. They figure they can't put that out. They can't stop it. And they're concerned about the safety of the firefighters because we've had a lot of explosions and power lines arcing, transformers.
LAFD ground and air crews working to put out these flames. We told you about this just a few minutes ago. It's called the Monterey Fire. It is in Ernest E. Debs Regional Park near Monterey Road.
We were top of Donlin Road. How far are you from Los Angeles?
We counted 83 homes that have been destroyed, and I'm afraid that number is going to be much closer to 100 because it's hard for us to get a perfect count. But almost every home there on Santa Cruz was destroyed with this fire.
Mendocino Street, multiple home, Lake, L-A-K-E Ave, and Mendocino Street. What appears to be a bank is on fire, an apartment complex, more buildings along the street. I mean, dude, it's paradise.
The house is still standing, and we're trying to defend it against our neighbors. Okay. And there's space around it, but we're having a hard time with buckets. Can you please help?
Yeah, okay. Yep. We'll let them know. Hey, that lady was saying that they're trying to defend a home up there. It's her home, but I don't know how you guys can pass through here. Yeah. They're trying to defend it. They're using buckets.
Kathy, as you mentioned, we're here in Somish on Donlin Road near Moore Park. This is one of those areas.
The large-scale fire burns across multiple homes there. This is the video earlier. And Philip, you were there. You can tell us what we're looking at.
Well, this is part of that area that Leo Stallworth was in, where the firefighters were able to. It's just ground video of some of the things that we've seen. This was today, earlier this morning, Ventura County. There were a number of reports of brush fire, and as you can imagine, all of the people that we heard from witnesses say that they smelled it, they knew that it was upon them, and look at this was today, earlier this morning, Ventura County. There were a number of reports of brush fire, and as you can imagine, all of the people that we heard from witnesses say that they smelled it, they knew that it was upon them, and look at the thing that.
Breaking news right now, a raging fire at this business in Monrovia. Let's get more from Chris 7HD. Chris.
Mark, a huge pallet fire on the corner of Mountain Avenue and Huntington Drive. You can see that fire has now extended to the commercial structure, hundreds of feet into the air. Over 100 fires from LA County Fire fighting this fire. They were at all costs trying to protect that warehouse near the top of your screen. And what's happened in the last few minutes is that the flames have crept through the firewall. Embers have flown onto the roof of the building, and now that building is very vulnerable. There were firefighters on the roof where you're looking at right there just a few minutes ago. And also a few minutes ago, we have some video to show you as they had to rush into action and try and evacuate one of their fire trucks. As the fire closed in on the fire engine, there was debris, flaming debris, actually blowing onto the fire truck, almost catching that fire truck on fire. Firefighters immediately able to back the fire truck into reverse and take that fire truck out of harm's way. Still though, that alley is loaded with more product that is going up in flames right now. As you can see, this is a body of flames and thick black smoke pluming thousands of feet into the air.
Here and see what we're dealing with now as I go in. I mean, here you can see, look at the intense flames spitting out of that shed. Whoa, and an explosion right there. Whatever was right there just exploded live on camera. And you know, you see this truck right here that probably has fuel in it as well. So whatever is in here is.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, that was one transformer there, but it's not the one that we're about to tell you about. It.
Moving up the roof! Engine 9, go with your mayday! Explosion! Mayday, all companies off, out of the building! Mayday! All companies have a mayday situation! I have 2 down firefighters in front of truck 9! Company's coming. At Light Point 20 medical group, we got 6 down firefighters. Truck 20, you're my medical group.
The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. Vince was able to send a lone warrior.
Going to be, we have experienced down in Florida and St. Clair County and a few more places far from heaven. That's a joke compared to what's got a few more places far from heaven. Counting a few more places far from heaven.
Yeah. Thing you could find on the internet. Lots of people have written about this particular issue online. Right. And I'm like saying, how does this guy know this stuff? So we continue to exchange email from there on, in October of this, and said that he had been working and realized that he was probably onto something. So when we began talking, it turned into Skype calls pretty quickly, and I realized that this guy knows hundreds of things.
That's where this is getting out of control, those little demon embers.
And why you showing us that is it's the example that we've all been describing throughout the day, that the winds with those kind of embers just keep this thing moving.
This event was the worst case scenario. It's the event that we have feared for a long time. And over the course of the years, we have worked hard to develop a plan to evacuate people in this event. That said, you need to understand that factors can exist that make even the best plans not perfect or not the exact outcome that you want. And in this case, very, very rapidly being pushed by some very, very strong winds.
Miles, fucking 100 miles, infinity miles, because that would also be over 1 mile. So apparently wildfire embers can travel an unlimited distance, because that would definitely be over 1 mile. Wildfire embers from here in California could jump across the Pacific Ocean and land in fucking Japan. That would be over 1 mile. Everybody worldwide better beware, because the wildfire embers are fucking coming for you. They can
running down the street, alerting people to a house that was suddenly on fire, alerting fire crews to a house that was suddenly on fire up the street, but generally no. People have left here. It's too dangerous. This fire moves very quickly. That's why people are gone. This fire moves very quickly. That's why people are gone. This neighborhood was being inundated with embers falling from these fires overnight.
That's where this is getting out of control, those little demon embers.
This was all driven by these wind-driven embers falling down into this neighborhood.
Officials describing a scene of mass devastation. Thousands of structures are destroyed. Video shows an entire school on fire with half.
As well.
Alex, yes, I can. We're on Marine View Drive with some kind of interesting information. So, first of all, we have this ember cast. So, see just where this beautiful home was that is completely gone now, and you can see the shower of embers coming off of it. There's not a whole lot left of it. But what firefighters are trying to do is keep those embers from, obviously, you know, they can travel up to even 2 miles, keep them from starting new fires. The problem, they're out of water. So, this is Ventura County Fire Station, and the fire hydrant is dry. And the problem is, it's not just dry here, it's dry on the whole water grid. So this whole area of Camarillo is basically out of water. So one house usually would have about 30 firefighters working on it. If one house is on fire, there's 3 of them here. And I just walked by them a minute ago, and they looked so defeated. I said, "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "We're out of water. We're completely out of water." So they've obviously notified their boss, but everyone's dealing with the same problem. These fire hydrants, they run dry, and usually they said it's like a continuous kind of like replenishing system, but there's nothing left. Like there's nothing more to replenish. So that's why they were talking about earlier, saying California American Water Company was asking people in the area not to use any water, which I'm sure they haven't, but there's just so many houses on fire, they're trying to fight. And now they don't have any water to do it with. So I don't know how deep the problem goes, but I know firefighters are saying it's not just them.
Let's talk about the area there for a minute.
We see it right now. That doesn't mean there aren't embers. And those embers, those winds pick up, it could create more problems. And that's what they're doing right now to keep everything safe. And I was actually looking for that truck right there. Sorry to keep talking. But right there, we saw this when the fire was active. That is a pickup truck with a trailer that had caught fire. And I was wondering if somebody was down there desperately trying to get items out of a home or do some kind of move, because you can see it. It's in the middle of the road, and the flames must have just overtaken them, and we know that they got out safely, but it just shows what was going on underneath that smoke and all that drama that was playing out.
And the wind actually just blow the water or blow the fire retardant away from the intended target, and that's why they issued evacuation orders and asked everyone to heed them. And those neighbors that have evacuated, all they can do at this point is wait.
There's really no